Hello and welcome to the Wudang Tai Chi Basics series with me, Lucia Ring Watkins, also known as Yung Wei Long. Starting out, looking up, breathing in, and looking down, breathing out. Looking up, breathing in, feel a stretch up the front of the throat. Looking down, breathing out, feel a stretch up the back of the neck. Looking up, breathing in, and looking down, breathing out. Back to the center, looking over the shoulder, leading the movement with the eyes. So as you go from shoulder to center line, breathing in, and center line to over the shoulder, breathing out. Back to the center, relaxing the head over to one side and the other side. And repeat. Now we're going to take one shoulder and take it back, up, forwards and down. So you're isolating the movement to the shoulder, yet making the movement as large as possible. Going the other way. And the other arm. And taking the shoulder the other way now. Now for the elbows, rotating in. And out. Hands and wrists. And the other way. Put the hands on the hips and breathing out as you go forward, in as you go back. And the other way. Okay, feet together. Hands on the kneecaps, holding them in place and circling the knees. And the other way. Now we're going to plant the toe and circle around it, or if you're barefoot, you may prefer to just circle the ankle like so. Doing the hands at the same time, so we're getting our coordination going. Now for the hips. So if you need to, you can take a wall to help you balance, or just put your arms out and taking the leg up, across and down, up, across and down. Going the other way now. And the other hip. And the other way. Okay, linking the hands together, coming up the center line and turning over. Sit down in your stance a little. You're going to turn the waist and just the waist to one side. And back to the center, turning the waist and just the waist to the other side. And back to the center. Hinge over like you're between two panes of glass. And back to the center. And the other way. Come back to the centre, hinge forward, stop when you're parallel to the ground, stretching the top of the head to the tailbone, and relax down. Here you're using the weight of the upper body to pull on the lower body. Legs are straight, but the kneecaps are not locked. And keep the breathing nice and easy as you try and just relax a little more on each out breath. You will feel this one up the backs of the legs, and it can also do down the back as well. And bend the knees, drop the bum, rolling up, coming up the centre line, breathing in, turning over at heart height, breathing out. In the centre, breathing in, turning the waist as I breathe out. Come back to the centre, breathing in and turning the waist as I breathe out. Come back to the centre as I breathe in, hinging over as I breathe out. Come back to the centre as I breathe in, hinging over as I breathe out. Back to the centre as I breathe in, hinging forward as I breathe out, and relax down. And just hang there for a bit. And then the knees drop the bum, rolling up.
Okay, let's have a look at some alternative stretches that don't involve crouching. So for the outside of the leg and the hip, you can try this one. Just take a wide stance, shift the weight over into one side, pushing out into the outer edge of the foot. And you can, if you wish, you can take it as deep as you feel comfortable without actually going all the way down. So if I wanted to increase this a little bit more, I could say do something like this. But just work with what feels comfortable for your body. I'm going to change sides. And coming in. Now for the inside of the leg, you can find something low to stretch on. I have a little stool here. So I'm going to stand with this foot facing forward, my supporting leg, foot facing forward. And then I put my leg up like so. I've got my toes up. I'm going to reach above my head and hinging over. You want to make sure the body doesn't fall forward. You're trying to stay in line here. One way and okay. Now for the front of the thighs, the footballer stretch can sometimes prove a little tricky. So let's stand with both feet together, pointing forward. And now I'm going to turn one foot out, 45 degrees, and slide it back in a straight line. So I keep my weight forward, my back upright. Now if you wish to increase this stretch, you can peel the heel off the ground, rotate the foot on the ball, the foot on the ball so it's now pointing straight forward. My back foot is pointing towards the door here, and sink down into it a little bit more. And changing sides. Turn the other foot out 45 degrees. Slide it back in a straight line. Front foot is pointing straight forward, back upright, weight forward. Then if you want to increase it, peel the heel off and sink. Foot rotates on the ball to point straight forward as well. Okay, coming up.
Hinging over. Just quickly. And we're going to bend the knees, drop the bum, rolling up one vertebra at a time. To the shoulders, neck and head are the last thing to come up. Now we lean back just a little bit like we're leaning back against a wall, looking up at 45 degrees. Okay, now for the shoulders. Swing the arm, catch it at the elbow and pull it towards the wall. So I am trying to get into behind the shoulder blades here. And I'm using this arm as a frame to help me get there, really, that I use to stretch around. So I've got the space between my arm and my body. My arm is an L shape. Got the palm at the elbow here, and I'm using a medium amount of force to pull that way. It can take a little while to get this one. If you're feeling a line of tension across the top of the shoulders, that means you need to relax the shoulders. You can sit down in your stance a little bit. And changing sides. Okay. Now for the neck. So you're going to take the head by the crown of the skull, at the back of the top knot here, and I'm just going to use some of the weight of my arm to stretch out my neck. Now on the other side, I've got middle finger down by the side seam of the trousers, space underneath the armpit. I relax through this shoulder and extend into the ground so I get my counterbalance. And just gently applying some of the weight of the arm here. Neck extends out and down on a diagonal, don't just crush the head into the body. And changing sides. And rolling the head in one long, slow circle in each direction. Looking once to each side. And we're going to finish off with some swinging arms. So here my weight stays central. I'm just turning my waist. And I allow the arms to just fall heavily against my body. Okay, that's it. That's your warm-up.